D2 Word Life here with Rip, biggest RTC fanboy Tides.
No. Fuck you, you right to censor left wing nut job.
Again with that bullshit. Anyway.
Because you love the right to censor in the left wing.
Yeah, both of those statements are wrong. I don't really care for the other side either, by the way. Fuck that, but we're not talking about that. And by the way, you're an RTC fanboy. You're the RTC fanboy. You keep talking about it.
No, you're the RTC fanboy because you like their left-wing politics.
You're the one who freaking keeps talking about RTC this, RTC that. And yes, I am.
Who's the one that fucking picked this fucking pay-per-view?
Oh, by the way, yeah, and I am blatantly ignoring the other thing you are saying. But anyway. Yes.
You like their left-wing antics, don't you? You're the freaking right to censor left-wing fanboy.
Fuck goddamn RTC, and I know this may come to a shock to people, but I don't give a fuck about politics. We're not here to talk about that.
I'm not saying politics-wise. I said you like their left-wing politics. That's why you're left-wing fanboy and the right to censor.
No. Anyway, but you were right about one thing. This event was my choice this week.
Yeah,
but it wasn't for the
censor.
It wasn't for the RTC Steven Richards match. We'll get to that one later. But anyway, here we are reviewing the 2001 No Way Out event that took place on February 25th, 2001 in Las Vegas. You know, the same town where WrestleMania 41 is going to be held this year.
Yep.
And it was held at the Thomas and Mack Center with an attendance of 15,223 people. Fans. The commentators of this event was Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, and Taz, who would be the commentator for the last three matches, replacing Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I think this was Jerry Lawler's final pay-per-view appearance up until friggin' Vengeance in that December.
Yeah.
And of course, the ring announcer was Howard Finkel for this event.
There's always Fink.
Yeah, and then we have to give a shout out to the Sunday Night Heat match. It featured Rikishi defeating Matt Hardy by disqualification. Rikishi, of course, was a heel at this point. We'll talk about him later.
Yeah, his disqualification for interference was Haku.
Yeah. Anyway, the show opened up properly with the video package hyping up the Angle Rock Championship match, and of course, the 3 stages of hell between Triple H and Steve Austin. Spoilers, the 2 out of 3 falls or 3 stages of hell was the match of the night, but we'll talk about that when we get to that one. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, there was and obviously the pyrotechnics was displayed at the start of the show. Everyone was welcomed to the show by the commentators. At ringside at this point was JR and Jerry Lawler, like I said. And then we get to the first match, which was for the hardcore title. It was Raven defending against the Big Show. God damn, this one was chaotic.
Yes. They had 4 fucking matches in one match.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because the 24/7. That's because the hardcore title was defending under 24/7 rules at this point.
Yes, but of course Crash Holly had to come back.
Yeah.
Yay! As a popcorn vendor!
Yeah. So like I said, the Big Show, like I was about to say, Big Show made his entrance after Raven here, then a mysterious Max Black Ninja woman appeared, which I actually did research. That was freaking Tori. You know, X-Pac's girlfriend from the previous No Way Out event that we freaking reviewed.
You're telling me you didn't know that was Tori?
Oh, I knew. I was just pointing that out for those who didn't know. Right?
You could literally tell that it was Tori.
Yes. Of course, she tried to freaking attack Big Show with with a piece of wood from behind or whatever. It resulted in Raven going after Big Show on the ramp, which backfired. Right?
Yep.
Because freaking Big Show fought back, and Big Show took a stop sign and repeatedly hit Raven with it. A little later on, Raven and Big Show went back to the ringside area, where freaking Raven ended up moving out of the way, and Big Show hit the ring post. Right? Yeah, then Raven attacked the Big Show with a fire extinguisher to the ribs of Big Show, but then somebody dressed as a popcorn vendor came, and that was revealed to be Crash Holly.
Yes.
And despite freaking his efforts, freaking Big Show took him out. Popcorn was flying everywhere, right?
Yes.
I think Big Show chokeslammed him, and he was down. He chokeslammed right out of that wig that he was wearing. Which I'm like, okay, I think Riptid's found his Halloween costume. The unconvincing popcorn vendor dude.
No, that's more like you.
And then I thought to myself, where the hell did freaking Crash Holly get that wig? Was it one of Goldust's old blonde wigs put in a ponytail?
Probably. Or Blue Dust.
Don't talk about Blue Dust. I don't need that image in my damn head ever again, by the way. But then a little later on after that, Steve Blackman and Hardcore Holly freaking came into the match. Then Billy Gunn came out of nowhere, freaking hit a famous on Raven to win that hardcore title. Right? But no, that wasn't the end.
Billy Gunn.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't the end of the match like you would think. But nah, they kept fighting. Yeah, they kept fighting. It's like, yeah, Hardcore Holly was fighting with Billy Gunn. Freaking, of course, Blackman and Hardcore Holly were double teaming freaking Gunn in place and ensuing Hardcore Holly hit a leg drop off the top rope onto Billy Gunn here. Of course, the Big Show got back and cleared everyone out, but Raven snuck the pin on Billy Gunn to win the Hardcore Championship back. Right?
Yes.
But, the fight would continue on. Even another appearance by Tori wearing a ninja costume with a piece of wood running back into the ring, but Molly Holly ended up freaking coming out and attacking her, getting her in the back of the head with a trash can and knocking her out.
She came out from the back, and then freaking Molly Holly was literally following right behind her. I'm like, wow, this looks very familiar.
Yeah, whatever. It resulted in freaking Molly Holly hitting Tori dressed as a ninja in the back of the head with a trash can, knocking her out. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, then Raven hit freaking Big Show with a trash can a couple times, but it didn't work. So Big Show freaking grabbed Raven by the neck, and Big Show nailed the choke slam onto Raven, threw it into the trash can, and pinned Raven to win the Hardcore Championship. After that, the Hardcore shenanigans were done. Basically, and Big Show just walked out like a boss as the new Hardcore Champion.
Well, Billy Gunn tried to attack him, and he just freaking literally chokeslammed him out of his boots.
Yeah, post-match. So, okay, very short match for the Hardcore title here. If you ask me, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre one was better, obviously, but your thoughts on this little short opener for the Hardcore title?
Sure, there's 4 matches in one.
Yeah, it was chaotic, short. There was technically 4 matches, but overall the segment wasn't very long at all.
No.
To me, it was just normal Hardcore style shenanigans. Nothing really too special. Something that's very forgettable after this event happened, but either way, it served its job, getting the fans hyped up for the rest of the show. If you want to call it that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we all know your favorite, and this was Crash Holly dressed as a popcorn guy.
No.
And you were like, hey, that could have been Crash Holly's new gimmick, popcorn vendor, dude. And of course, we go backstage. Where they showed Kurt Angle showing up to the venue earlier in the day. And pretty much freaking Angle trash talked Vegas, saying that that Vegas has the biggest freaking population of losers out there. Gambling term, all right?
Yeah.
And he also said that The Rock will just be another loser in Vegas, and he guarantees that he will walk out as champion still. Basically, your typical heel Angle promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then immediately after that, we're still in the back. Lillian Garcia was doing an interview with Guerrero and Benoit, who are getting ready for their fatal four-way. Literally, that was happening in a few moments, right?
Yeah.
And then Eddie said he was going after Jericho because Jericho put him out for 2 months at that point. But Benoit said that he guarantees that one of them will leave with the Intercontinental Championship, right?
Yeah.
Did that happen? I guess we'll find out, right? Of course, Jericho came out first. Intercontinental Champion Jericho came out first. Obviously, the crowd gave him a big pop. He was a big fan favorite in this four-way match, right?
Yeah.
X-Pac then made his entrance next. Yeah, the fans really weren't cheering for X-Pac. I think this was around the time X-Pac Heat first became a thing. They were just tired of his antics at this point.
Yeah.
Then Guerrero came out, followed by Benoit, and Guerrero and Benoit actually started double teaming, or the alliance was there. So this was more on. So at the start, this was 2v1v1 for the most part at the start. Hey. So yeah, this one was intense here. So yeah, I think it was Jericho and Eddie Guerrero were brawling with each other. Next to them, Benoit and X-Pac were brawling also. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking Jericho then sent Eddie into the turnbuckle and hit a clothesline. Followed by Benoit delivering chops to Jericho. I thought that was just also sudden. So obviously this was going to be nonstop. There was no standing around stalling. It was just action everywhere. Right?
Yeah. It was literally non-stop. They did not stop for 1 fucking second.
Eventually, X-Pac got in there, though, later and actually nailed a spin kick to Jericho. Followed with Benoit kicking at X-Pac repeatedly with Eddie's help, so it was more like a double team assault. Right?
Yeah.
On the X-Pac here. Yeah, and then Benoit did apply the crippler crossface on the freaking X-Pac, and while Eddie Guerrero was up on the top rope, but Jericho tripped up Eddie off the top rope, and Jericho came in to break up Benoit's submission hold in the spirit of the match continuing.
Yep.
At one point, freaking Guerrero shoved X-Pac off the top rope, and actually hit a frog splash on X-Pac, looking like he was going to win, but Jericho stopped that, broke up that pin a little later after that.
Yep.
So Jericho's there just saving his championship at this point, right? Yeah, and then at one point, freaking Benoit nailed Jericho with a clothesline, and in the process of pinning Jericho, Guerrero put Jericho's foot on the bottom rope to stop the count, pinfall count, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, there's some dissension between these two after all, right?
Yep.
Then a little later, Jericho nailed a missile dropkick on the X-Pac, but Benoit ran over Jericho with a shoulder tackle, leading to a bridging German suplex pin attempt on Jericho, but Guerrero came and kicked Benoit's feet out from under him, stopping the fight. Or the pinfall, I should say. Right?
Yeah.
And then those two started going at each other, just breaking their lines in this match. Like I knew was going to eventually happen. Right?
Yep.
Of course, a little later on, freaking Guerrero nailed a freaking belly to belly suplex on, I believe, on the Benoit for a 2 count. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or actually, no, Guerrero hit the belly suplex on Benoit for a 2 count. Whatever. I got the order reversed. Right?
Someone hit a belly to belly.
Either way, it was a 2 count. The match continued, so it doesn't really matter at this point, right?
Yeah.
Of course, back on the outside, X-Pac whipped Jericho into the steel steps. Which that looked brutal. All them steel steps freaking being whipped into steel steps always look brutal in some way. To me though, Mick Foley pulled it off the best, because every time Mick Foley got whipped in those steel steps, it looked like he broke his kneecaps with the velocity into the steps, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking a little later on, Guerrero, a little later on in the match, Guerrero did the same thing to X-Pac by bashing him into the steel steps, while Benoit was chopping Jericho repeatedly, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Benoit hit another bridging suplex on Jericho for a 2 count. I think Jericho kicked out this time. It wasn't broken up like last time, right?
Yeah, it was a 2 count.
Yep. Yeah, and then freaking Jericho then put the walls of Jericho on Benoit, which Guerrero then came in to stop it. Then Jericho put the walls of Jericho on Guerrero, and then finally he put the walls of Jericho on X-Pac. Walls of Jericho for everybody.
Yep.
Of course, it was that point just incredible who was X-Pac's ally at the time. God, remember X Factor, that stable? That was your favorite stable, wasn't it?
Nope.
We all know it was, don't lie.
Nope.
Because Guerrero came out, and, well, Jericho hit him with the forearm to the face, knocking him down temporarily. Of course, a little later on, freaking Benoit had the momentum with a German suplex. Eddie Guerrero broke up the pin attempt following that. A lot of German suplexes here from Benoit. But it would not matter, because X-Pac Incredible pulled Benoit out of the ring and hit a double suplex on him on the outside. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, then Jericho nailed a bulldog on Guerrero, followed by a lion's halt for a 2 count because X-Pac broke up the pin attempt, right?
Yeah.
And then X-Pac ended up being a dick to Chris's Jericho's and actually nailed an X Factor for a 2 count because Benoit came back to break the pin. At this point, no one knew who had the advantage. Benoit did knock Credible off the ring apron. So there goes X-Pac's ally for now.
Yep.
Of course, Benoit did apply the crossface on X-Pac. I think Eddie broke it up with a running backbreaker, right?
Yeah.
Of course, shortly afterwards, freaking Benoit then came back and hit a belly-to-back suplex on Guerrero, then on Eddie Guerrero, and then Benoit went up to the top rope and hit a signature high flying headbutt on Eddie Guerrero, taking them both out, right? Then X-Pac, actually no, after the headbutt, X-Pac actually hit a spin kick on Benoit, taking him down, right?
Yeah.
And then right when X-Pac had the advantage, freaking Jericho rolled up X-Pac for a freaking bridging pin attempt and actually got the 3 count to retain the title with it.
Yep.
No, I didn't go. I didn't go through it all spot for spot, but so far, this was the match of the night at this point. Your thoughts on this Fatal 4-Way match?
It was interesting. Was it their best match? No.
It wasn't Jericho's best match. It wasn't Benoit's best match by a long shot. It wasn't Guerrero's best match by a long shot. But even I think X-Pac had better matches than this, but it was decent. I mean, it felt like a pay-per-view level type match.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is... I mean, it is kind of hard to make a Fatal 4-Way a 5-star classic, but this was the closest I think they could have gotten it with non-stop action all around. And yeah, do I believe it's underrated? Yes. Is it not talked about enough for obvious reasons? Also, yes. But if you want to see a good like Fatal 4-Way, I would recommend this one to check it out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go to the back where we see Triple H getting his freaking hands and wrists taped up, getting ready for his 3 stages of hell with Austin. Right?
Yep.
And of course, Mr. McMahon was shown backstage with the Commissioner William Regal. Right?
Yep.
And Vince pretty much reminded Regal that's about Stephanie's match with Trish Stratus coming up was Regal's idea. And pretty much Vince McMahon alluded that Trish was his very good friend. Thinking about current events, that just makes me cringe when I hear that. Right?
You know you wanted her to be your very special friend.
Vince McMahon also freaking said that Stephanie was his precious daughter, right?
Yeah.
But the part that kind of sold this was like when Vince said to Regal, it's like, when the time is right, you know what to do. And Regal was like, yeah, I'll go out and I know what to do. But the part that made me laugh was after Vince left or got out of the locker room, Regal was just looking around, was like, I don't even know what to do. What the bloody hell am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
And for some reason, that made me laugh. Right?
Because he didn't know what Mr. McMahon meant.
Exactly. He goes, what the bloody hell am I supposed to do? Right?
Yep.
And of course, afterwards they showed shots of WWF New York, their old failed restaurant, I should say. Now, I'm pretty sure if they had something like that now, it would probably be successful, but back then it just really wasn't working out, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they showed Test out there on stage, who was the European champion, talking about talking about asking him his thoughts on the Trish Stephanie match coming up. He goes, Ted was like, well, once in a while, we'll know who the biggest trash bag hoe in the World Wrestling Federation is.
Yep.
And I'm just like, wow, okay. Right. Then we go backstage. Trish was actually getting ready to make her entrance when William Regal tried to talk to her, but Trish said, no, don't have time. You got someone's ass to kick. Right?
Yep.
And of course, then we go to another freaking ad for WWF Raw on TNN. Yeah. When is Netflix going to start promoting WWE Raw? All the old episodes on Netflix. Seriously, watching their old school Raw's ad commercial, I'm like, reminding me, okay, Netflix needs to put all the Raw shows on. It's freaking stupid that they haven't yet. Because I need to get back into binge watching. I bet you do too.
Yep.
Of course, afterwards they showed another advertisement for WWF The Music Volume 5 featuring The Rock's Pie song. Yeah. Yeah, I got that whole album on freaking Spotify, but back then you can only get that on CD. CDs, remember those? God, I feel old thinking about CDs now compared to what we have for music these days.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, anyway, they showed the video package hyping this Stephanie McMahon Trish Stratus matchup. God, most of it's cringe, right?
Yep.
So I'm not even going to go into detail. I'll spare you. If you want to watch this hype up video package, watch the event on Peacock or Netflix, depending on where you live.
That fucking Stephanie and Ms. McMahon finally got her mom into a home.
Basically. Of course, this was all that storyline was obviously all leading up to the Vince Shane match at WrestleMania. Which WrestleMania 17 we already reviewed, right?
Yep.
Hell, I think WrestleMania 17 was, I believe, our second WrestleMania pay-per-view review, with the first being 40.
Probably.
I don't remember. I just know we already reviewed WrestleMania 17 at this point. You can find that in the freaking, like, either the WrestleMania review playlist or obviously the podcast playlist. Right. So yeah, both made their entrances, and let's be honest, Stephanie McMahon is not a pro wrestler. She never claimed to be, and Trish Stratus at this point was green as grass shit. She wasn't the performer that she would become years later. Basically, is what I'm saying. She was still in the rookie stage. Right? Yeah. So Stephanie started the match with a takedown, followed by some slaps. Trish held onto the rope, so Stephanie pulled her off with 2 clotheslines. Right?
Yep.
And then Stephanie did it. Stephanie then freaking tossed Trish around her hair around the ring, but Trish later got out to the outside, where Trish took advantage by kicking Steph in the freaking dang ribs and sending Stephanie over to the barricade under the concrete.
Yeah.
Of course, a little later on, freaking Trish actually nailed a neck breaker across the top rope back in the ring, and then Trish slapped Stephanie repeatedly here. Afterwards, Trish did manage to hit a bulldog for a 2 count, which that bulldog would become one of her signatures later on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's pleasant to see her perform that move early in her career like this, in this match. Of course, to Stephanie's credit, she came back. To Stephanie's credit here, freaking, she did kick out of a DDT that followed from Trish afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. Of course, a little later on, here's another highlight of this one. A little later on, Stephanie and Trish were on the outside, where Stephanie tossed a jug of water onto Trish. And of course, Jerry Lawler, this was the Attitude Era. Jerry Lawler had to get his freaking line in saying, wet t-shirt. Wet t-shirt. Ah, Jesus. Right?
Yeah.
I'll take things you'll never hear in WWE today for $500, Alex. All right?
Yep.
Yeah. Note you, Trish Stratus is not wrestling in a t-shirt, wrestling in a regular ring attire at that point. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, those two went back into the ring. Stephanie hit a powerbomb for a 2 count, right? Which looked impressive by Stephanie's standards here. She don't wrestle that often, as I mentioned.
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking Stephanie pulled on freaking Trish's shorts, leading to her ass being freaking shown partially. While Jerry Lawler, the horn dog, was yelling, close up, Jesus Christ. It's like, yeah, this was terrible. This is something, these are things you want to see today. And that's a good thing, right?
Yep.
Anyway, Trish and Stephanie did a double hair toss spot, which led to the real story of the match. What the hell is William Regal going to do? Because he didn't know what the hell he was going to do, right?
Yep.
So Regal came out, tripped up the referee, and then freaking he came in there and put Trish onto Stephanie, right? Thinking, okay, Trish Stratus going to take a cheap win here. But the referee started, but then Regal was like, nope. And he put Stephanie's foot under the bottom rope, right?
Yeah. Well, he was about to leave, and then he's like, well...
His mind was conflicted.
He got conflicted, put her foot, and then freaking Trish was pit, and then he goes in, attacks the ref.
And then Trish was yelling at him. Trish actually slapped Regal, which Regal did a little fake smile before he grabbed freaking Trish's arm and hit a neck breaker, knocking her down.
Well, he went to give her a handshake,
which ended up being a
neck breaker. And then twisted her around and did a freaking neck breaker.
Which then Stephanie crawled to the cover on Trish with the referee getting up and counting that 3 count for Stephanie to win.
Yep.
Okay, before we talk about the backstage shenanigans afterwards, your thoughts on this women's match between Trish and Stephanie here? With Regal's interference costing Trish the match.
It's something you want to see now.
I mean, yeah, freaking Regal sold it with the comedy bit. Okay, of like Conflicted's like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, so I give it that. Other than that, it felt more like an average match for the time. We can't be too harsh on it, right? Because like I said, Stephanie wasn't really a full-time wrestler at this point, never really was. And Trish was basically a rookie at this point when it came to in-ring action.
Yeah.
So I can't be like too harsh on it, but you know what I'm saying. And that's why I said it felt more like an average match. So yeah, I thought, so for the time, it served its purpose. Of course, after the match, Stephanie left, celebrating the win, while Trish was angry about the loss in the ring. Of course, there was another commercial hyping up WrestleMania 17 on April 1st, 2001. Like I said, we already freaking reviewed that one. You can check out our thoughts on that video after this one, right?
Yep.
And of course, backstage, Vince McMahon was angry, yelling at William Regal, saying, I thought you knew what to do. And then Vince said, you know what? And Vince was angry. He goes, that's it. Tomorrow Night Raw is going to be you versus me, Regal, in that ring. And then Vince was like, wait a minute.
It's going to be me and Trish versus you and Stephanie
on
tomorrow
Raw.
night.
Oh, boy.
Meaning that Raw.
Yeah, and from what I know, that mixed tag pretty much led to a no contest with Trish being humiliated, and then the following week, I really hate to bring it up, but you know it's true. 2 weeks after this event on Raw, that's when Vince McMahon made Stephanie bark like a dog. That shit angle that everyone hates for obvious, and it's cringe to watch now for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Saying 2001 was a different time period was a little understatement because it was cringe to watch back then, and it's cringe to watch now. Right?
Yeah.
At least in the end of WrestleMania, Vince got his ass kicked. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, okay, after that, they did air the video package for Austin and Triple H's 3 Stages of Hell match, which was next. And I'm not going to recount every incident, every spot in this match because it was long as hell in length, right?
Yeah.
Of course, this feud dated all the way back to Survivor Series at 99, where Rikishi ran over Austin doing it for The Rock.
I did for The Rock.
Only for it to be revealed that Triple H was the mastermind behind the whole Austin being ran over. which led to their Survivor Series 2000 encounter a year later, which saw Austin dump a car using a forklift that Triple H was in, right, to end that match, which we still need to review the 2000 Survivor Series, which we will eventually get to at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking Triple H freaking screwed, and then the build up to this, Triple H screwed Austin from winning the championship from Angle, and then Austin did the same thing and returned to Triple H at the Rumble. And as we all know, Austin would win the 2001 Rumble, leading to more dissension between Triple H and Austin, right?
Yep.
But also a little interesting thing, they had a little contract saying that neither man could touch each other before their match at No Way Out, which led to freaking Austin's stunning Stephanie McMahon, which was Triple H's wife, and then Triple H retaliated by attacking JR. Right?
Well, also instigated because Triple H attacked him first before signing the contract.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like, great heelish, dickish move right there. Right?
Yep.
But anyway, Triple H was shown walking through the arena to get to the ringside area, possibly, more likely, was heading to the gorilla position. Right? And then your boy, Michael Cole, tried to get an interview with Steve Austin saying, are you prepared to freaking face hell next? Austin freaking just stood there in silence and walked away.
Yep.
So yeah, Triple H entered first. So I believe this was one of the first appearances he came out using the Game by Motorhead theme song. I know he previously used it at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view as well. Right? And of course, Steve Austin came out using the Disturbed Glass Shatters theme. So this is basically Motorhead versus Disturbed here.
Yep.
And of course, Austin got the big freaking ovation, the cheers, the fanfare, because Austin was the red hot character, the big main star at this point. Kind of like how Cody Rhodes is today. That was Austin's level back then, right?
Yeah.
Now the first fall was just a regular match. The second fall was the street fight, and the third fall, if necessary, was a cage. Right?
Yep.
For those of you keeping score here. But like I said, I ain't going to go through every single maneuver or everything here. Right? So yeah, whatever I leave out to fill in the blanks, just watch this match. Right?
Yep.
Of course, I will talk about how the match started. The match started off with both of them just going back and forth with punches to each other. Right?
Yep.
Leading to Austin taking control with his signature stomps in the corner to Triple H, right?
Yep.
And the crowd was chanting Austin this whole time, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And of course, freaking Austin went for a charging attack later on, but Triple H blocked it, sending Austin into the top rope. Yeah, but Austin didn't really sell that like you on 2K when he freaking nailed a single arm takedown with his left arm onto Triple H. By the way, speaking of 2K, for those who pre-ordered 2K25, obviously at time of recording is the day that it's available.
Yes.
You're just mad because I got to play that game a few hours before you did.
Go fuck yourself.
No. How many times I gotta tell you that, right?
How many times do I have to tell you to go do
it? Every time I'm an asshole?
Exactly.
So pretty much every day.
Yes.
Of course, back in the ring, Austin did nail a Luthez press, leading to punches and his signature elbow drop for a 2 count onto Triple H. Right.
Yeah.
A little later, freaking Hunter came back with a neck breaker followed by repeated drops to the back of the head of Austin. Of course, Austin reversed any momentum with a kick to the gut, but Triple H freaking nailed an eye, poked Austin's eye and hit a chop block to the back of Austin's knee. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then Hunter continued to work on that knee by ramming Austin's leg into the ring post. Now at this point, both of Austin's knees had the knee brace on, thus being targeted. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking back in the ring, freaking Hunter or Triple H actually put a figure four leg lock onto Austin. Right? And Austin was in that figure four leg lock for a good minute. Right? But, Austin will never tap out, ever. So he would rather endure the pain, so he got to the ropes after about, a good, minute and a half in the hold. Right?
Yep.
And of course, Triple H continued to attack the knee, but Austin kicked him away freely, so Austin hit another Thesz press, right?
Yep.
And of course, shortly after that, freaking Austin went for a stunner, but Triple H caught him and knocked Austin down with a punch, right? By punching him into the ropes, and then Hunter hit a neck breaker for a 2 count, or Hunter, Triple H, whatever you want to call him, right? Yeah, and after a couple pin attempts were unsuccessful, freaking Triple H went up to the top rope, or jumped off the top, but was met by Austin hitting a stunner on him for the pinfall win. Right? Thus making Steve Austin control 1-0. Right? At this point. So now here comes the street fight portion of this 3-fall match. Right?
Yep.
And this one was a long one, too, like this portion here. Right? I believe the second fall was the longest out of the 3 falls here. Right? If I'm being honest here. It all started immediately after Austin got the pinfall, when Austin tossed Hunter out of the ring, leading to Austin hitting a suplex on the bottom of the rampway. Right? And then again, he had a second suplex on the ramp out there, right? And of course, shortly afterwards, both of them made their way to the Spanish announce table, where Hunter, I believe, was hitting the head with a monitor, thus breaking it, right?
Yes.
And then Austin freaking tossed chairs in the ring. We'll keep that in mind for later, right?
Yep.
And of course, those two ended up fighting out in the crowd for a while before Triple H was thrown back into the ringside area by Austin. And then Austin freaking nailed 2 chair shots to the back of Triple H or Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Triple H would hit Hunter all over his body. Would hit Hunter repeatedly with the chair shots all over his body here, right? Yeah, but then Austin then drove the edge of the chair into the ribs, went for a pinfall, and that was a 2 count, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then Austin freaking went on the outside and got the ring bell and put it into the ring as well, right?
Yep.
Of course, not only that, freaking Austin then grabbed something else, which was shocking at the time, right? Oh, he grabbed the freaking goddamn barbed wire baseball bat, or barbed wire 2x4, I believe it was. Or it was a bat, whatever. Shades of Triple H's match from the year prior with Cactus Jack, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a Cactus Jack chant, right, when that was revealed. Right? Oh boy. But right before Austin could use it, freaking Hunter kicked Austin in the ribs, and freaking Hunter hit Austin in the face with a barbed wire bat, thus busting him open. Austin open here. So yeah, freaking Austin was sent over to the announce table not once but twice. Triple H was in control here. Right. While they were on the announce table, Hunter went for the pedigree, but Austin reversed into a back body drop, sending freaking Triple H to the Spanish announce table. And I'm just
poor Spanish announce table. It always takes a beating.
I swear the Spanish announce table, they should just have a freaking big bullseye painted on it, because we all know at some point that table's going to go down. Right?
Yeah.
Ugh. Of course, that didn't really stop Austin because... Well, that didn't stop Austin because the assault continued when he grabbed a beer can from ringside and nailed Hunter in the head with it. Right?
Yep.
Of course, Austin was freaking bloody as hell, so that allowed when he sent Hunter back in the ring, right? Austin was wearing the proverbial crimson mask, right?
Yeah.
Gorgeous once back in the ring. Hunter got the advantage by nailing Austin in the head with the ring bell shades of WrestleMania 13. But it only earned freaking Triple H a 2 count, right?
Yep.
A little later on, after Triple H hit a neck breaker and Austin on a steel chair, Austin fought back, went for a sleeper, but Triple H reversed into a belly to back suplex. Right? Yeah, of course, both men were down at this point. Austin got up, grabbed a little later. Austin got up a steel chair, and nailed Triple H in the head with it. This will also be something you would never see today, right?
Yep.
And because that steel chair shot, freaking Triple H was now freaking busted open, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then freaking a little later on, Hunter actually nailed a drop toe hold onto the steel steps onto Austin, right? After Austin introduced the steel steps into the ring. So that's when Triple H decided, I'm going to grab my sledgehammer, which was under the announce table, right? Instead of under the ring, right? And even JR was like, JR, did you put that sledgehammer under there? No, I didn't. I swear. Yeah, but it wouldn't matter because back in the ring, Austin freaking got the advantage before Triple H could even use it. Austin tried to go for a stunner, but Triple H blocked it, and Triple H nailed Austin in the face with a sledgehammer. Right?
Yep.
Which allowed Triple H to freaking regroup, get Austin back up, and actually freaking hit a pedigree on Austin to win the second fall. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, now the score is now tied 1 apiece. 1 apiece. Yeah. So yeah, the third fall was now the steel cage match. This had to be the decidal factor at this point. Because if Austin would have won that street fight, the match would have been over. Right?
Yeah.
And oh yeah, by the way, 2 out of 3 falls. What does that remind you of? God, I am so tortured. Right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, both guys were exhausted. Both guys could barely get up when the steel cage was being lowered. And at this point, you had the sledgehammer, the chairs in the ring, and the barbed wire bat still in the ring. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, the steel cage was actually lowered, and then the bell rang to begin the third fall after the cage was secured in place. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it started off with Triple H whipping Austin into the cage. and also Triple H worked over Austin with punches afterwards. And then Triple H followed that up by sending Austin face first into the cage once again. And then here was some cringe spots here. Triple H picked up that barbed wire bat, or barbed wire wood bat, whatever. We'll just call it barbed wire bat, even though it was a piece of wood wrapped with barbed wire here. And Triple H took it and just started grinding Austin in the head with it. Right?
The barbed wire bat? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that looked cringe as shit, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Austin got out of it when he grabbed a steel chair and nailed Hunter in the head with it, right? So, and then Austin freaking Triple H into the steel cage, which that led to freaking Austin picking up the barbed wire bat and doing the same thing that Hunter did to him by grinding that freaking barbed wire into Triple H's head, right?
Yep.
Of course, freaking Hunter got out of that after a while with a DDT, and he tried to freaking pin Austin, but Austin kicked out, right?
Yeah, but they were never the same after getting raped by a barbed wire baseball bat.
Yep. Oh, boy. Yeah, so Austin kicked out of that DDT from Triple H. Then Austin continued to work over Triple H with punches and got and went for a cover on Triple H, but there was another 2 count, right? Of course, Triple H freaking tried to climb out of the cage, and JR said, you can't win by escaping. It has to be by pinfall or submission, basically, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Austin stopped Triple H, and sent freaking Triple H in the cage a few times, but then Hunter or Triple H fought back and nailed Austin's face into the cage, which resulted in Austin crotching himself on the top rope. So yes, Triple H is a dick to Steve Austin's, right?
Well, he was his dick to his Stone Colds.
Or something, right?
Yes.
Of course, a little later after that, both men were back in the ring. Austin went for the stunner, but Triple H fought out of that and actually hit a pedigree for a 2 count, right?
Yep.
And at this point, both men were spent, both men were battered, both were bloody, both were exhausted as hell. They were just trying to scratch and claw for a win here, right? So yeah, Triple H then took a steel chair and nailed Austin in the head with it, right?
Well, they threw their best shots at each other.
Yes. But then Triple H then went for a pedigree again, but Austin reversed into a catapult to catapult Triple H into the cage. And then Austin would hit a stunner, and he too, just like Hunter earlier, also just got a 2 count last minute. Right?
Yep.
But yeah, freaking at this point, both were exhausted. Like I said, they were just beating the hell out of each other. So Austin grabbed the barbed wire bat. Triple H grabbed the sledgehammer.
They were doing a lot more than beating the hell out of each other. They wanted to kill each other.
Yes. But yeah, this match came to an end with Austin grabbing the barbed wire bat. Hunter and Triple H grabbed the sledgehammer, and both of them hit each other in the head at the same time. Which resulted in Hunter actually freaking falling on top of Austin, all unconscious, and the referee made the 3 count, awarding the match to Triple H 2-1.
Yep.
So before I talk about what happened after the match, your thoughts on this freaking 2 out of 3 falls or 3 stages of hell match?
It was brutal as fuck.
Obviously the match of the night on this show. Right?
Yep.
And it doesn't matter to me who won or who lost. Both of them freaking deserve respect after that performance. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, after the match, freaking Triple H got up. Right? At this point, they had the cage raised. Right? And of course, freaking Austin ended this segment by nailing one last stunner onto Triple H. Thus setting the fans happy by Austin getting the last laugh anyway, despite the loss.
Yep.
All right. But yeah, freaking, but then after some that, Triple H managed to get up after Austin already made his way back up the ramp into the back. All right.
Yep.
And I seen there were some fans like booing Triple H, other fans I just saw standing there applauding the match. Now, if I was there live at that point, I would have just been applauding the match, right? As a show of respect, right?
Yeah.
So now we are about to go from the match of the night, the best 2 out of 3 falls match I've seen at this point, in the review segment here that we do, to a match that sucks. Why?
Your favorite match of the night. Don't get them wrong, guys.
No, it wasn't. My favorite match was the one we just talked about from this show.
His favorite match of the night was the Jerry Lawler versus Steven Richards for Cat.
No, that was your favorite match.
No, that was your favorite match.
But anyway, before this shit match even started, freaking the RTC was shown backstage doing a prayer before their match, before Richards' match.
Of course they had to pray.
And of course the Cat was shown putting on her jacket while Jarrett was trying to was telling us that she was dying to get naked on television. That should tell you all you need to know about the result of the match. Right there. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, Taz came out and he joined the commentary team with Jim Ross for the rest of the show at this point.
Yep.
And of course, the Right to Censor member Steven Richards and women's champion Ivory came out for Richards' match. Jerry Lawler made his entrance with the Cat, who was his real life wife at this point. While Cat was just sitting there wearing an overcoat, possibly with nothing else on under there. This is bull, right?
Yep.
With the stipulation being if Steven Richards won, then the Cat would have to join RTC. And if Jerry Lawler won, then the Cat would get nude. That should tell you exactly all you need to know about who's winning this match.
Fuck the RTC.
And they would never have a stipulation like that today, obviously. Right?
They could.
Oh, really? Now, if they say, oh, yeah, if female wrestler A beats female wrestler B, female wrestler A gets naked in the middle of the ring, female wrestler B is going to win. There's no way WWE would ever do that on a pay-per-view. Right?
That's one.
Yeah, they never will. Do I even really need to talk about this match?
All I'm going to say is fuck RTC. End of match. Goodbye. Next event.
Yeah, I wish it was that simple, but we got to talk about this crap.
No.
Yes, we do. Lawler was in control of it for most of it, hitting a freaking hip toss and a clothesline to Richards. Of course, Richards left the ring. Of course, back in the ring, Lawler was still in control when he tossed Richards out to the floor again. Yeah, and then Lawler turned his attention to Ivory, so the Cap slapped Ivory on the outside. Then Richards shoved Lawler into the ring post, got him back in the ring for a 2 count. I wish it was over right there, honestly. Right? Because it doesn't matter the length of this match. I already knew this match was going to be shit. Right?
Yeah, no, everyone's crap.
Of course, Lawler freaking got the advantage over Richards quickly after Richards missed a corner charge splash, right? Lawler actually hit a bulldog for a 2 count, and I'm just like, okay, can this match be over at this point? And of course, the crowd were chanting, "We want puppies." There ain't going to be no puppies tonight. I'm sorry. Right?
Yep.
Then Richards brought a chair in the ring. Lawler then hit a low blow onto Steven Richards. So Lawler's a dick to Steven Richards, which I'm gonna just let slide. And he hit a DDT, and then Lawler then nailed a second DDT. Ivory distracted the referee, and then the cat went to the ring. And the referee stopped. To here, and then Lawler then punched Richards, who was using the women's championship, try to use as a weapon, but that backfired. Then Ivory got into the ring, and then Ivory got into the ring, but then Lawler was hit her with a body slam. Richards grabbed the women's championship. Lawler ducked again, and then Lawler was holding freaking Richards in place, and then the cat charged in with the women's title, but Richards turned, so Lawler got hit by the cat, who had the women's championship in her possession at this point. And then Richards covered Lawler for the win. This match was shit.
It was worse than shit.
Of course, it was your favorite match of the night, but...
No, it was not.
And of course, due to the stipulation, freaking the RTC dragged the cat out of the arena and forced her to join the RTC group.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? The cat was only involved with the RTC group on television for one night, and that was the Raw after this, and then the next day she was fired from the WWE. Which then Jerry Lawler quit in protest. Thus making this Jerry Lawler's final pay-per-view appearance until December's Vengeance. And it was throughout 2001 that freaking Lawler and the cat divorced, leading to Lawler's return at the end of the year. Enough said about that, the better, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I never want to talk about another RTC match for a good minute, right?
Oh, there's a lot more.
That was your group. Those were your boys. Fuck off.
Nope, they were your boys.
Nah.
Yes, you know you love the right to censor, don't you?
Heck no, man. That's your group. Jesus. Ugh. Yeah, not for that reason. Anyway, can we talk about the next match, please? Because I really don't want to talk about this freaking RTC crap right now again. Anyway, up next was the Triple Threat Tag Team Table match, featuring the Dudleys defending against Edge and Christian and The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction.
Yep.
And they did a little freaking hype for this match where it showed Taker dominating on Raw prior to this, or SmackDown prior to this, whatever. And then it showed freaking The Undertaker and Kane getting assaulted in the back after Edge and Christian told some backstage official that, you should tell Taker his bike's being messed with by the Dudley boys. You know, that whole shit, right?
Well, they told him to go, that Edge and Christian were looking for the Dudleys. And then Edge and Christian told the other officials to go tell Taker that his bike was getting messed with.
Yep. So yeah, The Undertaker and then Kane then cut a promo backstage with Michael Cole, saying that the Brothers of Destruction ain't about the championships. The Undertaker and Kane haven't been tag team champions yet at this point, right?
Yeah.
But Taker said this match wasn't about the gold; it was about pain and suffering for the other two tag teams. And he goes, and that they should be concerned about how they're going to survive, and that the big dogs run the yard. And then Kane followed it up saying that they would put the boys through hell. Right?
Yep.
Of course, Kane and The Undertaker made their entrances separately, because this was before their their joint entrance here. Kane coming out first,
Yeah.
Taker coming out second, riding the motorcycle to the ring. Right? Then Edge and Christian then came up, and then Taker and Kane left the ring and just met Edge and Christian pretty much at the ramp, at the start of the rampway. Well, Edge and Christian were about halfway. And then the Dudleys made their freaking entrance behind them, so Edge and Christian were between a rock and a hard place. All right?
Yeah, you could say that. It was more of a hard place in hell, but yeah.
Pretty much. Right?
There was no fucking rock. It was just a hard place and
Hell.
two big ass dudes that wanted to beat the shit out of them.
But Edge and Christian, playing it smart, avoided the other two teams while jumping off the rampway to let the Dudleys and Taker and Kane just go off on each other on the freaking entrance ramp. Right, to start this match off, all right?
Yeah.
And of course, Undertaker and Kane were in control over Edge and Christian, beating the hell out of them. And then Taker and Kane then went back to the freaking ringside area with Edge and Christian, slamming their freaking heads into the announce tables repeatedly. Right?
Yep.
Now, here's something interesting. Oh yeah, then Kane sent Christian out into the barricade, but here's something a little interesting. Taker and Kane were going to go grab the tables, right?
Yep.
And then the Dudleys got back into it. Devon nailed Kane in the back with a steel chair, but Bubba nailed Taker in the back of the head with a steel chair.
Yeah, it busted him open.
Yes. And as we heard, freaking that shot busted Taker's head open. And apparently it was supposed to be Bubba nailing Kane and Devon nailing Taker.
Well, if you guys want to know
switched
the whole thing about that, you can go to Undertaker's podcast, 6 Feet Under.
Where he did the interview with Devon. Right?
Yes, dude, he's like, you son of a bitch. And he's like, no, it's the fat white one, the fat white one.
Yeah. It's like, son of a bitch, right? And now knowing that, I can't unsee that, right? Of course, before we got to that beating that Devon got, freaking Devon worked over Edge with a clothesline in the ring, and then Bubba went after Christian with a back body drop. But eventually Taker and Kane got back in the ring, right?
Yeah.
Got back in the ring after some action between Edge and Christian and the Dudley boys. And then freaking Kane and Taker freaking grabbed Devon, sent him out there, and then you see in the corner of the screen Taker just beating the hell out of Devon, thinking Devon was the one who busted him open. And that's probably when Devon was like, "No, it wasn't me. It was a fat white one. I'm the black one." Or whatever he said.
Devon literally said, it was the white fat one, and I'm the black one, not the white one. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, his words, not mine, right?
Yes, literally throwing Bubba Ray underneath the bus.
That's pretty much what happened, right? But yeah, freaking, it resulted in Taker Kane sending Devon to those steel steps after all that happened.
Well, Devon was literally, when he was getting beaten up in that freaking corner, it was literally just saying, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. You can literally hear him.
I mean, now knowing the backstory, I can't unsee that with this match, okay? Of course, Kane and Taker came back and nailed power slams on both Edge and Christian. And then freaking Taker and Kane then freaking nailed clotheslines off the top rope to both Edge and Christian as well. Which is Kane's signature maneuver, right?
Yep.
And the fans were like chanting the tables chants again, so the Dudleys came back in, nailed both Taker and Kane with punches trying to get the advantage. Of course, Taker nailed Devon with a clothesline, and Kane freaking hit a kick to Bubba, knocking him down. On the outs, of course, Devon and Christian then sent Kane to the outside the ring, while Edge and Bubba did a double clothesline onto Taker. knocking him down.
Yeah.
Of course. And of course, freaking the Dudleys went for the 3D onto, I believe, Edge, but Taker came back and decided to be a dick to Devon's Dudleys by nailing Devon with a low blow. Right?
Yeah.
And you think they keep the match? Because this wasn't elimination style. It was first person tossed through a table. The match is over. Right?
Yep.
And of course, Edge and Christian a little later on were trying to attempt a double suplex on the Taker through a table, but Kane came back in and moved the table out of the way. Right?
Yep.
So Taker didn't go through it, thus ending the match. Right? And Kane knocked both Edge and Christian down with a clothesline. Right?
Yep.
Which Kane and Taker followed up by hitting chokeslams on both Edge and Christian. Right? And of course, freaking a little later on, freaking Taker and Kane were about to freaking put Edge and Christian to the tables to win the match and the tag titles.
Rikishi and fucking Haku come out.
Yes, Rikishi and Haku came out to start a brawl with Taker and Kane, taking them out of the match. Right?
Yeah.
Where the fight between Rikishi and Haku and Taker and Kane went all the way up to the rampway area. And of course, back in the ring, freaking Bubba moved out of the way of Edge, who looked like he was trying to hit a spear onto Bubba through a table, but the table did not break.
He was trying to hit a spear.
But Bubba moved out of the way, which set Christian up to be put through a table with a 3D from the Dudleys. Thus, the Dudleys retain the titles here.
Yep.
Okay, your thoughts on this triple threat tables match, also knowing what we know from Taker's podcast. I thought the match was wild and chaotic. You just have to watch it for yourself. Well, first watch the freaking...
Devon, when I was rewatching, I was just thinking to myself, like, God damn it, just listening to it really close, you can literally hear him saying it wasn't me, it was the fat one. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, before you watch this match, listen to that story that Devon told on 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, and then watch this match, and now you won't unsee that.
Yeah, because he literally, it was supposed to be, Bubba was supposed to hit him, Undertaker, with the steel chair, but instead, right at that point, he decided, wait, we're going to switch it up. You're going to hit Taker on Kane.
Or something. Actually, no, it was Bubba who just switched it up, decided to hit Taker, right?
Yeah, I just said Bubba said.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just knowing that bit of information makes this match more intriguing, knowing the backstory, right? So
I think that Bubba Ray was tired of getting the shit kicked out of him by the Undertaker.
Of course, after the match, when the Dudleys celebrated their victory, Taker and Kane looked on with an angry look on Taker's face.
Well, because Undertaker and Kane could have won the tag team titles, but Haku and freaking Rikishi are like, oh, we're going to be tough. We're going to go. Oh, fuck.
Yep. And you know...
Like, oh, these guys can't beat two island boys from Samoa.
Of course, this was done because freaking Taker and Kane had the little mini rivalry with Rikishi and Haku at the time, and well, this was done also to make sure that Taker and Kane lost the match, but without being put through tables, as well, kind of protecting them in defeat, right?
Well, they weren't defeated.
They technically weren't. They were still whipping Haku and Rikishi's asses when the match ended, right?
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, they aired another commercial for WrestleMania 17. There was a lot of WrestleMania ads throughout this one for obvious reasons, because that was the next pay-per-view following this, all right?
Yep.
And then, you know, the video package aired for Kurt Angle defending his WWE Championship against The Rock in the main event. and pretty much,
And we all
much,
know what Darren Cross stole his TikTok thing from.
yes.
Is from The Rock when he literally said, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok.
I also got to mention this from the video package. The Rock did defeat the Big Show on SmackDown to earn this WWE Championship rematch.
Yeah.
Remember that for a little later on in this match. Of course, that's when The Rock did the whole TikTok countdown, saying that Kurt Angle's WWE Championship reign is coming to an end, right?
Yep.
Of course, then The Rock did a pre-match interview with your boy Michael Cole. And Michael Cole asked if The Rock's ready. And The Rock didn't do his long, typical promo. All he said was TikTok.
He said TikTok, TikTok.
TikTok.
That's what I said. We all know where Darren Cross stole that from.
And pretty much TikTok, and pretty much he said that Angle's reign, his countdown, and his reign as WWE champion is over. All right?
Yep.
Now, Kurt Angle made his entrance as a WWE champion, and then The Rock came out to a huge ovation as he walked down the ring with a lot of confidence, a lot of fanfare. So this was the Olympic gold medalist versus the Final Boss 2. Their last meeting was for the championship was at No Mercy 2000, that we covered also.
Yeah.
Arriba.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the crowd was chanting the Angle sucks chants. Not exactly the you suck chants to his theme song. That wouldn't come for over a year later when he got his head shaved. Yes, this was Kurt Angle with hair. Right?
Yes, it's still weird seeing him have fucking hair.
I know. Nowadays, both Angle and The Rock are bald, so. But, back then it was weird to see. Right?
Yes.
Of course, Angle tried to start the match by nailing The Rock with the championship, but Rock ducked, and then Rock hit a clothesline out of the corner on Angle, thus starting the match officially. Right?
Yep.
And of course, after Angle hit a running knee to the ribs of The Rock came back with a back elbow, then a side Russian leg sweep to Angle. But then Angle fought back with a clothesline of his own, knocking The Rock down. Everybody was into this at this point, getting all over Angle's case, Rock getting the cheers. Right? Of course, Angle freaking went for the ankle lock early, but The Rock got his hands on the rope, forcing a rope break. Right?
Yep.
Of course, The Rock tried to battle back, but Angle then nailed a belly-to-belly overhead suplex on the Rock. Right?
Yep.
And of course, after some back and forth, again, Rock came back with punches, and he nailed a running clothesline on the Angle. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, The Rock freaking then locked on the sharpshooter, but Angle got to the bottom rope to break the hold. Right?
Yep.
And of course, then The Rock freaking hit a Samoan drop on the Angle for a 2 count. Yes, The Rock is Samoan. So, yeah, he could use that move, right?
Everyone knows that he was Samoan. His grandfather was High Chief Peter Mayabuya.
Yeah, and after a belly-to-back suplex, Angle went up to the top rope. But The Rock then leaned onto the ropes, crotching Angle, so The Rock was a dick to Kurt Angle's indirectly. Right?
Yes.
A lot of low blows in this freaking show. Then The Rock hit a suplex while standing on the middle rope for a 2 count afterwards. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking Angle then sent Rock over the top rope onto the floor, where The Rock started selling his left leg, unlike you in 2K.
Go fuck yourself.
Sorry, had to sneak that second one in there.
That's the third.
Or third one, whatever. Right?
I told you guys it's not 1 per video. It's more like 15 per video.
Yeah, whatever, 50, but you're just over-exaggerating at this point. Either
No,
way,
not.
The Rock got back in the ring, The Rock was able to hit a DDT onto Angle. Thus, both men were down, and then the Big Show's music started up again.
The Big Show.
So the hardcore champion, the Big Show, made his way down to the ring, gave the referee a choke slam, taking him out. Then Show then nailed Angle with a choke slam, and The Rock got a choke slam as well. Right?
Yep.
Even JR was like, what the hell was going on? Right?
Yep.
Big Show was angry that he wasn't the one in this match for a title opportunity. And then the Big Show left while his music was playing once again. And I just looked at him like, that interference was so random. Right?
Well, imagine The Rock just hit him, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to pin you. Then the ref comes out, pin. Rock, hardcore champion.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Right? Of course, everyone was down. Rock, Angle were down. Referee was down, so more officials came out to help Mike Yoda out of the ring. The referee got chokeslammed. Those other officials were Tim White and Earl Hebner. No controversy to Earl Hebner's name whatsoever.
We all know what happens with Earl Hebner freaking referees a match.
Exactly. Of course, Angle went to go pin The Rock. Earl Hebner got back in the ring and made a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
And then freaking Earl Hebner went back onto the outside to help Kyoto again. Referee Mike Kyoto again, right? And then The Rock then grabbed the championship belt and nailed Angle on the head with it. And then The Rock went for the pin on Angle, only for Hebner to come back in, start making the count, but Angle kicked out at 2 again. Right?
Yep.
Oh, fuck. So the match continued. Of course, The Rock was limping around. Angle tripped him up and slapped the ankle lock onto The Rock in the middle of the ring. Of course, The Rock was near the rope, but he didn't quite get to the rope yet. And then Angle turned up the intensity and the monologuing by saying, tap out, you son of a bitch. I'll break your fucking ankle. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. That showed Angle's despotism to try to walk into WrestleMania as the champion at this point. Right?
Yep.
Of course, did The Rock tap out? No, he managed to actually get his freaking hand on the rope, bottom rope, to break up the submission hold. Right?
Yep.
And of course, short while later, The Rock was able to hit a spine buster and actually hit a people's elbow on the Angle. And he covered Angle for a 2 count. Like, it was near 3 at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and then I guess he hit a rock bottom. And then The Rock actually nailed the rock bottom onto Angle. Pinned Angle, but the referee went 1, 2, but then Earl Hebner stopped his count. Right?
Yep.
Saying it was a 2 count. Actually, no, before that. Actually, no way. I got it before that. Angle exposed the freaking goddamn the turnbuckle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Angle sent Rock into the exposed steel, hit the Angle slam for a 2 count, right?
Yep.
And of course, then shortly afterwards, freaking Rock avoided Angle running at him, and Angle then was sent in the exposed steel turnbuckle. So yeah, here's what I was talking about. I jumped the gun too early, right?
Yep.
Rock nailed the rock bottom. The referee stopped counting after 2, even though Angle kicked out. This wasn't planned. The Rock was visibly pissed, right, at this point. We heard about this before. Then The Rock picked up Angle again, stared right straight to the referee, covered Angle, and he said, count this motherfucking finish, right? You know that's what The Rock was yelling at the referee, so Hebner counted the 3 count as planned to win the championship, to win the WWE title. Your thoughts on this match?
Well, technically, Angle was supposed to kick out at 3, like they normally do.
Yeah.
But with Earl Hebner, the way he literally kept hitting right by Angle's head, and Angle even said, yeah, that irritated the shit out of him.
Yep.
So, yeah, he was literally supposed to kick out at the 3. He was waiting for the 3.
Yeah.
And he never hit the 3. He just literally stopped at 2 1/4.
Yeah. So, yeah, the show went off air with The Rock posing on the turnbuckles as the new WWE champion, while Angle was frustrated about the loss. Right? And even Chaz was mocking Angle on commentary for crying, whatever. And that would mean that the main event for WrestleMania 17 at this point would be The Rock defending the championship against Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rumble winner, which we, like I said before, we already reviewed.
Yes.
So, yeah, your thoughts on this one? This main event was okay. Which match do you think was better, their No Way Out encounter or their No Mercy encounter? Both had interferences in it.
They all were all memorable in their own way.
Yeah. So now we go to our, like I always call it, our favorite portion of these review shows. Anyway, our rating system here. So, Big Show defeating Raven to win the Hardcore Championship. Also all the other impromptu title changes throughout the match. For some reason, I really wasn't into this, so I gave this one a 2.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
You enjoyed it way more than I did. Chris Jericho defeating X-Pac, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero in that fatal 4-way match to retain the Intercontinental Championship. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
I gave that a 3.5.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the interference.
Yep. Stephanie McMahon defeating Trish Stratus. Thanks to William Regal's interference, I really give that one 3 out of 5.
I gave that a 4.5.
Yep. The 3 Stages of Hell match with Triple H winning, with Triple H defeating Steve Austin in that 3 Stages of Hell match 2-1. I gave that one 5 out of 5, the best match of this card.
I gave it a 5.
Yeah, 5.5. Yep. Steven Richards defeating Jerry Lawler. 0 out of 5.
Half.
Yeah, you liked it better than I did. That shows you're the RTC boy, not me.
Oh, I didn't enjoy it for the RTC. I enjoyed it because the cat was going to hit Stevie Richards in the head.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bunch of interference, and I mean, who booked this crap? Vince Russo from WCW? Speaking of WCW would be dead about a month after this event.
No.
But whatever. But anyway, next, the Dudley Boys defeating Taker and Kane and Edge and Christian in that tag team table match to retain the tag team championships. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I gave it 4.5.
Yep. And The Rock defeating Kurt Angle in the main event to become the new WWE champion. I gave that one 4 out of 5 as well.
I gave it a 3.5.
So yeah, my final grade for No Way Out 2001, all things considered, I gave it a solid B.
I gave it a B to a C.
So yeah, there's our thoughts on the 2001 No Way Out event. So this was my choice. So what are we gonna do next week on the review? Since next week is your choice. I'm kind of afraid because of all that menacing laughter.
It is my turn.
Yes.
And I actually have one wrestling event that we will do in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you another week off from crappy reviews.
Oh, thank the Lord. Hey, what are we watching next week?
We are watching because it is WrestleMania season.
Basically, yeah.
WrestleMania 24.
WrestleMania 24. Okay, so the main event of that show was Taker versus Edge for the world title, Floyd Mayweather versus Big Show, Orton, Cena, Triple H's triple threat match.
Yep.
And of course, the battle of brand supremacy between Batista and Umaga.
Yes.
Okay, so that should be fun to watch and review.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, that being said,
Or is either that one or the WrestleMania that they did the Battle of the Billionaires?
23 from the year prior to that one, huh?
Yes, it was either that one with Ms. McMahon and Trump, our president.
I'm going to look forward to reviewing WrestleMania 23, to be honest. Oh, boy. But anyway, next week we're doing WrestleMania 24. We'll eventually do 23 probably before this year's Mania anyway.
It'll probably be my next pick.
Yep. So anyway, next week we got WrestleMania 24.
Trying to steal it.
Yeah, I could be picking that one for the following week after that. And then you'd be like, you son of a bitch. Stole it.
Right? Stealing my shit.
So yeah, next week we'll see you on the review when we review WrestleMania 24. Until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.